Now let's blow the mind of this guy once and for all. When a translation is made, there are three possibilities. Now many people don't acknowledge all three, but I think there's three. I don't think there can be a fourth. Here they are. Now here's the one everyone agrees on. Usually a translation can be not as good as the original. It's below the original. It's not as good. Now you might get a few people to agree that a translation can be just as good as the original. Now you're stretching it at that point. However, the third possibility, and maybe they'll accept it as a mathematical possibility, is that a translation could actually be better than an original. I know that's crazy talk, but in 2 Samuel, there was this war between the house of Saul and the house of David. You see, there was this guy named Abner, and he had placed another guy on a throne and declared that he was king. And that guy was named Ishbosheth. However, Abner and Ishbosheth soon didn't get along. They started having, bad words between each other. So Abner sends word to David, hey, I'm going to translate the kingdom from the house of Saul and set up the throne of David over Israel and Judah from Dan even to Beersheba. Now the word translate is used. Now, he sends word to him saying that I'm going to give all of Israel unto thee. See, David wasn't quite king of all of everything there in Israel. But now he would be after this translation. So, based upon that, on the left you have David's kingdom before the translation. It's okay, but it's not real great. After the translation, David's kingdom is bigger and better. And it's more complete. So, ta-da, I have shown you a translation in the Bible that was better. Now at this point you'll say, oh, good grief. You've managed to find one obscure thing in the Bible. Oh, congratulations. Well, no, there's another one. Colossians chapter 1, verse 13. Who hath delivered us from the power of darkness, and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son. This is a salvation verse. And we get translated. When you get saved, you become translated. You're better off now. You see, as that verse said, you used to be under the power of darkness. You were a sinner going to hell. But now you've been made saved, and you're going to be ending up in the kingdom of his dear Son. So, it's something good happened after a translation. On the left is where you were going to end up in hell. That's before the translation. After the translation, why now you've been saved and translated into God's kingdom. That's an improvement. Here is another translation that can be better than the original condition. Well, there's yet another one in the Bible, Hebrews chapter 11. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death. Well, translated. This sounds like a good thing. So, here you have Enoch, and he's living on earth. And he's living on earth. Now, they're all living to be a great age back then, but eventually Enoch's going to die because he's a sinner like everybody else, even though he's a really great guy. Eventually, he's going to die. And he's living in a time where people are just mean and horrible and evil. But God translates him. And he translates Enoch so he would not see death. I would say that that is a translation that is better than Enoch's original condition. Enoch at some point is going to die if he's still on earth before the translation. Now, I've just shown you three possibilities, and I've shown you three examples in the Bible where a translation actually turns out better than the original. Now, of course, these guys, these Bible correctors, they don't like those three verses, so guess which verses get tampered with? You got it. That one I just showed you about Enoch being translated, the New Living, the English Standard, the Contemporary English, the New King James, and the NIV changed translated to a form of the word taken or took. As you know, they're coming to take me away. It's not taken, it should be translated. You don't want to be taken to heaven in your current condition. No one can see God and live. You have to be translated into something better than your body can handle. You can't handle it right now. You need to be translated. If you just got took to heaven, you'd fall over dead. Now, can you imagine them taking Enoch in his current condition? Or back then, he gets up to heaven. If he can survive the trip in his, his human body, then he gets to heaven and sees God and falls over dead. No, he got translated. It's an improvement. That verse in Colossians, the word translated, they changed that in the English Standard Version to transferred or brought. New Century Version says brought. Holman Christian Standard says transferred. Amplified says transferred. You don't want just a simple transfer. You are in a bad state before you get saved. You need to get translated, not just transferred from the devil's kingdom into God's kingdom. Why, you'd still be sinning. So you need to be translated, which is better. And lastly, the verse about translating the kingdom from Saul to David, the NIV says transfer. It's not exactly a transfer. It was better. His kingdom didn't remain the same after this. It was better. It was improved. So the word translated should have been used. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that the King James translation is more inspired than the originals. All I'm saying is that it's superior to have the King James Bible than it would be to possess all of those original manuscripts.